Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket Show. This is Armando. I'm with Haley Dawn.
Hi, happy April.
Happy April. Diamond Co.
Yep.
In the house.
In the house. We've got Easter prints out.
You mean doggy pajamas?
Dog pajamas. Yep. Easter
Fantastic.
dog pajamas.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you do when it's not Easter time?
You dress your dog up just like you do any other time.
Could you wear the Easter jammies when it's not Easter?
Whatever you want.
I guess I wore my Christmas jammies when it wasn't Christmas a few times.
My dogs have a lot of
times.
Halloween jammies, and I put them in those year round. So.
Your grandmother made you a Halloween dress last year, if I remember correctly.
My mom.
Your mom?
My mom made it. Yep.
It was very nice.
Thanks.
You still have that? You wear it year round? huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. It was the first.
Like
time.
a pumpkin skirt to get you through the season, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a great show lined up.
We do. I'm really excited. First, we have Elease, and you are the director of Messina Hof Winery.
And we also have Guadalaharry. Harry will be here.
Yes.
Harry
yes.
from Guadalaharry's, and he's the owner of Guadalaharry's. Now in Conroe, Texas. Was on 1097 West out by the lake. He had that place over the gas station. And I think his code was the great restaurant above the gas station. It was like a mantra. He's got a new one. Instead of above a gas station, it's next to the courthouse.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a great location right here
I thought
downtown.
so too. This is great. And for those of you that don't know who Harry is, he's the owner of Guadalaharry's. And so he'll be on this afternoon. And let's get this show started. We have with us Elease from Messina Hof Winery since 1977. Bryan College Station's #1 vintner. Also producing out in Fredericksburg in our Katy Cypress area, I believe. We have a restaurant.
Fredericksburg, Grapevine, Richmond.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, welcome to the show.
you.
I'm so glad you made it. I know you're here supporting a local event, the Moco Fashion Show, which is near and dear to our hearts, of
Yes.
course. Huge fans. Excited about the upcoming event coming May 3rd to Conroe, Texas at the Timberline Crossing Event Center. And you're a huge part of this. Tell us a little bit about how you're such a huge part of this particular event, May 3rd at the Timberline Crossing Event Center.
We are bringing all the wines for the event. We are bringing 5 incredible wines. We have a sparkling wine, a Brut is going to be
at the event or just
at
here
the
for us to
event.
drink right now?
Oh,
I
no,
see it
now we
there.
have some fun ones. It'll be for
Okay,
later.
no,
but
don't let me interrupt.
These are
No,
later.
You go ahead.
But we have some fun wines going in with it. So we're starting out with a nice sparkling Brut, and then we'll be going to a off-dry Muscat Canelli. So you're talking a dry wine with just a touch of sweet, less than 1% sugar. It
This
will
has
be with the
alcohol
second
content,
course.
right?
It's got plenty of
It's
alcohol.
all made from
content.
grapes.
Yes,
Everything's
all
made
made
from
from
grapes.
grapes.
No.
100% Texas grapes.
Messina Hof and the Bonarigo family, right?
Yes, the Bonarigo family. 7 generations of winemakers.
And a lot of people lose touch what 7 generations means because most of us can't see past 2 or 3.
No.
Most humans, right? And not to bring anything negative, it's a humanity thing. Name your great-great-grandfathers by name. And you could, most people can't even tell you how many of those ever existed in their family's, tree, right? So, if my parents, and that tree goes out, so you should have 3 great-great-grandparents and 3 great-great-grandmothers.
Yes.
Right? And then the next one is 12 or something like that. So you're looking at this, I have 2 grandfathers and 2 grandmothers, right? But I have this number doubles every generation.
Every generation
so
that goes
when
back.
when you see this, it brings on a different scope or perspective than you would have of assumed, right? So when you talk about a 7-generation vineyard, we talk about that same cycle of depth. And 7th generation since 1977. I feel like this is just such a...
We were actually the 4th oldest winery in Texas. So Prohibition came. Only one winery survived, Valverde. And then we had Llano Estacado come out after that, 1950 sometime. Fall Creek in the 1960s. Here came Messina Hof in the 1977s. And what really is funny with that is, so Paul and Meryl met. Paul Vincent, our founder, and Meryl, his wife, met. She was showing him a home, and she was the only one that was able. She had to be involved because his pet kept chasing off prospective home buyers. So it took longer to work with him than she had initially thought. And they ended up getting married, of course, and he bought this
So she was a realtor.
She was a realtor. She sold him the property that is now the estate. And
fantastic.
He moved out, little mobile home, nothing fancy. And a professor from A&M said, hey, we want to check the feasibility of grapes. We're growing them all over the state of Texas to see how they grow. And so they planted a few different varietals. Well, among them, one that we still grow to this day, a Spanish grape, or Lenoir, as we call it, mixed port. Lenoir, I love that name. And then we do...
It's like a Spanish-French kind of twist to it. Lenoir.
So we...
It's spelled with a
took
J.
off. They started making wine. They made their first commercial wine in 1983. They did all of the tastings in their living room of the mobile home originally. The tanks were old milk tanks. I mean, just there's a old whiskey barrels. So it's a varied history, an incredible history. Fast forward now, I always say you have to be a big personality to be a trailblazer, and Paul V had a big personality. Meryl
must
was
have.
so steady and provided that support. In between the two of them, they just made a dynamic duo.
I've spoken with so many older distributors and people that helped to support Messina Hof and the distribution of the wine even back then. And they always mentioned to me about that, exactly what you just said, and such a pioneer, such great juice, and what an adventure that they went through. But how, in pairing, they all talk about how cool he was, and I know that's
You have to meet
also part of perspective.
meet him.
They said he was cool, I mean, I was like,
he is
genuine.
He's genuine, and he's got a huge personality. And I really believe you have to be that kind of person that isn't daunted by the challenges ahead of you. You just kept rolling on, and he was perfect for doing that. Paul Mitchell, his son, said he wanted to make wine so much he ran away to the Marine Corps for 10 years. So he
Officer.
He served in the Marines for 10 years. Did Iraq. Doesn't talk a lot about the tours he did over there. Came back in, I believe, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there, and started back into the winemaking. Took over in 2015. From the time he's taken over and has gone back into the Bonarigo hands of actually making the wines, we have just exponentially made better wine. And at this point now, we have won not only in the United States, we are the most awarded Texas winery, but we also took this beautiful, not the sparkling that I've got sitting here in front of you, but this Sagrantino grape. We are the pioneers.
Let's put that in a glass. Yeah,
You want to put that in a glass?
Yeah, I want to try that.
This is the newest one, the first of its kind in the United States. So let that bubble go down a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a sparkling dry rosé with tannins. Go figure. Heavier bodied, lots of fruit forwardness. It's one of my favorite. It is my favorite wine that we have right now. I love the Sagrantino grape in anyway, but it was not growing in the United States at all. It was growing in Umbria, Italy, and they fell in love with it over there and wanted to find it here. Tracked down, happened to be that UC Davis made a mistake and thought they got Primitivo and they got Sagrantino instead. We bought up every one of them and started planting them. We are the biggest grower of Sagrantino in the United States.
Well, that's definitely unique. I can taste the tannins.
You can taste the tannins. It's very unique.
Yeah, that wasn't a bit of salesmanship. That's a true a true attribute. I definitely taste the tannins. I like that richer taste. It's not so sweet. I'm not guaranteed a headache when I taste it.
Nope.
I don't think that. Which, either way, I'm still drinking champagne even if I think that.
Well, the fun thing about this one is this one is done in the traditional champagne method. Of course, we cannot call it champagne because it's not from Champagne, France. But
natural effervescence, or is this an additive?
It takes 18 months to make this. It goes. We ferment and make the juice here. The grapes are from Texas.
Okay. What percentage do you think? Do you know?
100%.
100%. It's not. That's not required, though, right?
It's not required, but Messina Hof only uses grapes from Texas.
Okay. All right.
And believe it or not,
Yeah.
it would be much cheaper for us.
Oh, I know
Half
it
the
would be. I
cost.
believe that 100.
Half
I
the
believe
cost.
that. Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
that support of Texas grapes that are going in there.
Yeah,
The
for
growers
sure.
up in the Panhandle.
No doubt.
So it's just supporting them. We've worked with some of these.
So this is 100% Texas.
100%
grapes.
Texas.
I normally don't like the
Nobody does.
aftertaste of wine, but this one is like it kind of leaves like a fruity,
Yes.
just a nice hint.
It's nice,
I like
and I like
it.
that it's not candy. I like it brings
No
on-
sugar.
Yeah,
no sugar.
No sugar.
It's a dry.
And you can get this at
rosé.
H-E-B?
No sugar. No.
Oh, okay.
This is only at the
Yeah,
wineries. Our
no
newest
sugar.
release.
So if I was
okay.
hypoglycemic diabetic, would this still be
about that.
slightly in my
Well,
wheelhouse?
alcohol.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Alcohol.
Slightly.
Always, but it is in the wheelhouse for a lot of those people.
Good.
They can at least enjoy a little
we
bit.
did the Fredericksburg tour not too long ago, and my significant other was looking for wines that didn't have sugar, and otherwise she's going to freak out, and this is a bad trip.
Yeah.
It usually ends up with aggressive. The less, the more that low blood sugar kicks in,
Yes.
or when you're consuming too much sugar. It typically brings hypertension and ruins a vacation where we're
Exactly.
supposed to be strolling through Fredericksburg, really relaxed, enjoying good wines. And you're a part of the Blue Bonnet Trail, right?
We're part of the Bluebonnet Trail, but we're also part of the Fredericksburg. We have a location in Fredericksburg as part of that as well.
Yeah, and
So-
I think it was at Dry Comal Creek, and they have a sugar-free wine, and I didn't care for it, but the everyone else in the group did.
Well, we were laughing about that. So reds, dry reds. We were just having this conversation. Dry
Yeah.
reds are always they're low sugar. They're no sugar.
Mm-hmm,
Whites have less than 0.5% of sugar. Dry whites.
Okay.
Sweets, it depends. I can tell you Messina Hof sweets. Our sweetest wine runs about 8% sugar. Our semi-sweet runs 4. Our off-dry runs 0.7.
Wow. Well, and you can put that in your little calendar and do your blood test after you have
Yep.
a few glasses. But I promise it'll be a lot more fun when you did.
Yep.
But I wanted to dial back and talk about one. We know you're an award-winning,
Yes.
great winery and a great vintner, and I know every harvest comes with its own personality,
Yes.
its own association. Meaning, I might hire a consultant, another outside vintner, or a Texas expert, or have you ever seen any flares up during these harvest days to bring someone noteworthy or somebody you want to mention or
No,
somebody?
we have never. We do our own production. It's all done at the estate. 200,000 gallons a year.
Dang.
It's very, very systematic. Time matters. So
Yeah.
when you're coming down from the Panhandle, where 90% of the grapes are grown, in Brownfield area, the timing of the trucks coming in is very important. We have a very good staff that handles that. We rarely bring in somebody outside just because that schedule is so important, and the consistency, people who know how to work the equipment. Since Paul's taken over, we have not had an outside winemaker.
Yeah.
So for over 10 years now. It allowed us to be more consistent. And I think you're going to find that in a lot of Texas wines. Just Texas wines in general, because we're a big pioneer of all Texas wines. We feel like we're really getting on the map now.
Man, I don't see
all
how
of
you
the
can't
Texas
be.
wineries are really getting on the map now.
And they deserve to be so. I've seen
Exactly.
some great juice coming out of Texas, and
Oh, yes.
and I love what I don't know, outside looking in. It seems like a good Texas camaraderie. Even the Blue Bonnet Trail. That's why I mentioned it. Was just that the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, the other wine events that happen that really bring multiple wineries together.
Exactly.
And if anybody knows their wine, one of the things we like the most is variety.
Exactly.
As a consumer, I have what everybody refers to as a really light palate, and they're like, "Oh, I know this is good for you, but it tastes like water, Armando." Wow, it's so light, right? And I'm like, oh, "What?" And I'm almost insulted. That's Spotswood or Silver Oak or a Camus, And we've got this really light wine that doesn't bring, Pinot is my favorite, so I can tend to serve these lighter table wines that are easy everyday drinking, not quite a Beaujolais Nouveau or anything like that, but a lighter vintage that some people like, the Newton Unfiltered. They want that hard hitting, just like dark black coffee kind of wine, and I get it. I like it too. But my favorite tends to be on that lighter side of the spectrum. So, what do you have that works into these kind of tastes.
Well, I also believe that for me personally, I'm a red wine drinker.
yes, same.
But what I like to sit on my front porch or on my couch and drink is different from what I want with my steak, or I want with the heavier meat, or what I want with a rib. Or so I really try to change that. We were talking about that. I personally. So my go-to, if I'm going to sit on the couch, is
There it is.
Primitivo.
Here's the one. Which one?
It's called Primitivo. It's an Italian varietal. It's a Zinfandel.
Primitivo.
It's the same as Zinfandel. And I love that wine. We have an artist series, and I'll sit there and drink that wine.
Is that what the contest was? The artist series?
We do artist, yes. So we do a contest. The winner is, well, we vote on the winner at the Wine and Roses Festival, which
That's
happens
coming up.
April 26th. Yes.
Woo! Wine and Roses.
So-
Wine and Roses, that'll have a stomp. That'll have the
Well, we have a
artistry
stomp
awards.
contest.
The award. A stomp
Yes.
contest.
They do a contest who can stomp the grapes down to where they need to be the fastest. We have teams, and there are awards, and they're very,
Okay, stomping
very
grapes
competitive.
Is fun. Stomping grapes. Stomping
With-
grapes is fun by itself.
Combine that with drinking a whole bunch of tastings.
Drinking
Fine Red Wild.
competitive stomping. You can it's like the romper room.
Yes.
Let's break it down. Drinking adults, competitive stomping. Yeah.
Sounds
We've
like
been
the
doing it
perfect
for a
combination.
lot of years. It is wine, stomping. I mean, what could go wrong?
Nothing.
Well, wine stomping was its own, right? It's traditional. But competitive speed wine stomping is something.
That wine, by the way, we don't use for the wine.
Oh, yeah. I
No,
want to
no.
use that.
So this event, you said it's April 26th?
April 26th.
Okay, so anybody can go, or tell us a little
Anybody
bit
can
about...
go. You can sign up ahead of time. You can show up and buy your tickets when you get there. They get to try 20 to 30 different wines, sampling.
Wow.
There are vendors there, a ton of vendors there. Lots of local vendors, small businesses. We have different food trucks that show up. We also, I know there's different events you can sign up where you can have you can have a pairing with the winemaker where he discusses wines. There's just different.
Tell me about the facility there in Bryan.
Bryan College Station has 23 acres of grapes growing.
Okay.
Linois mostly. A little bit of Sagrantino and Sangiovese, I believe, as well, but mostly Linois. Our port comes from there. One of the wines we will be doing at the Mocha Fashion Show is our barrel port that comes from Bryan College Station. So you get to taste the wine that we make there. It's all
The
handpicked.
barrel port is grown there in Bryan.
Yep, we handpick the grapes.
you
You
eat
know,
the
they
grapes
don't
while you
sell
pick them?
that port wine, right? I think they're a little under.
HEB sells the port wine, but can't sell it on Sunday.
But
It's
not on
18.5%.
Sunday. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can't get it on
So do
Sunday.
they close it up, or do they just not let you purchase it?
It's got a red tag that says you cannot buy on Sunday, and then you won't ring out.
You know, back in the day, port wine was used on sailing ships because they wanted to have something to drink, on the ship. And if they fortified the wine they found with rum or other liquor, brandy preferably,
Yes.
they would get drunk faster, so they wouldn't need to bring as much, So fortified wine was fortified to get you drunk quicker, like fortified milk's got vitamin D in it. This was fortified to get you drunk quicker.
Okay.
Right? And that's why they put it on the boat, because it took up less space and weighed the same.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, it gave us cargo space, right?
Now,
so
our
wine
port,
was
our
running-
port is not fortified with brandy or rum.
whatever.
It's done
Sure.
It's naturally fermented up to 18.5%.
Sure, it's still all right.
So how long does that take? You said a year and a half, or did I miss
Oh, the port, a port could take anywhere from 3 to 5 years.
that? Wow.
Those
ports
tawny,
take
some of those
longer.
older ones are
The
10,
tawny or the
20.
Solera, our current Solera sherry, the first vintage is 2017.
Okay, so if somebody is new into wine or doesn't really drink a lot of wine or is unfamiliar with wine and they are just strolling through HEB, what do you recommend they start with, or what do you, if they're having...
When you're asking a winery, that's a loaded question. And that's why we like them coming out.
Right.
Because,
gonna
for
say
example, I use a couple little tips and tricks when I'm going out there and talking with people. I'll ask them how they like their tea, sweet, unsweet, half and half. How they drink their coffee, if they have it frappuccino, caramelized, or whatever, all the way on one end, or they drink it black with no sugar.
Such a good way to do it.
And then juices. If you tend to like grape juice or berries or smoothies that are berries or things of that nature, or you like apples and tropical fruit and citrusy fruit, that kind of tells me falls into two categories. One, white and red with those two. And then the other one tells me your sweetness level. So I can kind of gauge you in there because I've had new drinkers come in here that don't do a sugar, especially Gen Z. Don't do a lot of sugar. They don't drink a lot of juices or whatever. They're drinking a lot of water, and they don't put a lot of stuff in their coffees and so on and so on.
Sugar's terrible for you.
I'll start them right in the middle with an off dry or a semi-sweet and move them. I'm not going to start them with a dessert style wine.
Don't let me interrupt, Doctor, but I was wondering, what is that other bottle you brought for us?
So this is a demi set. So this is a sparkling almond. No almonds were harmed. There is no almond actually in this.
There is no almond in it, you said.
Nope, it's allergen free.
I don't have any problems with almonds, but just curious.
Tastes like amaretto. Tastes like Italian wedding cake.
Put a little
So
bit
where
more in
does
mine. I
where
like
does
the idea.
almond name come from
The second fermentation, you're going to smell almond. Put it up to your nose.
A little bit more of that. Yeah,
Oh.
you got it?
Oh, it's right there.
Okay,
It's
okay.
Yeah,
so-
you can't miss it.
I want this in a diffuser next to my bed.
Yes.
Really? Oh, that is nice. Very nice.
Wow. Okay,
I wish
wait.
it was colder, but it tastes like Italian wedding cake.
Show me the label on this one more time.
It's very simple. We're not creative.
Messina Hof Sparkling Almond.
almond.
Oh, you are creative. Stop it. Man, I gotta have to. I'll throw stones at that call there. And where you weren't, you need to call from the community that you're a
That's so
strong
good.
part of. Really bringing those artists in and letting them bring that
Yes.
culture club to the table. I think it goes hand in hand. And kind of like fashion and your involvement with the MoCo Fashion Show. I love that these are local artists. This event is really about the community, supporting
It
Lone Star
is.
Community Radio and all the fat businesses in this community that have boutiques and shops. That really, I mean, who's going to go bend over backwards for a small boutique?
Exactly.
Nobody. So they're going to charge them an arm and a leg they can't really afford. So to give them an opportunity to bring their business to the front and their artistry in clothing, and the more I dabble in it, the more I see it is. Even if you're drop shipping clothes, designing clothes, pairing clothes, bringing them together, you're pairing your personal art outfit every single morning with your makeup and your hair, and it's unique to your day. It's a bit of artistry to the
It
matter.
is, definitely. Everything is. And the artist, we have labels going all the way back. The Port has an artist series label on it. It's
See,
a father
that's
and a
what I'm
son
talking-
by the Vineyard.
Oh, so much so. I'm going to try this. What'd you think?
It's so good. I
It's-
could drink that whole bottle.
I love the smell too. Go ahead.
Tastes
I'm
like
sorry.
amaretto.
So you were on the port artistry when I interrupted
and
you
then
again.
the Muscat Canali that we'll be serving with our second course, it as well is a artist series label. It's our one of our latest ones. Isn't that good?
Wow, that is
Yeah,
So-
like you're not really expecting it, but
Again, both of these are done in the champagne style. These are 2023.
natural. All natural here.
All natural.
The flavors are so distinct.
Yeah.
They seem like it was an additive. It was
No,
like I put it on
it's
it. Like I
very-
added a lot
it's-
of vanilla extract to make that taste that good.
Well, a lot of times it has to
But
do
that
with the
sounds right.
grapes and what you're trying to bring forward. There's so much science to it now.
Wow.
You'd be surprised. With this, where there's only one place in the United States that you can go and get this style done is in California.
That is
so we ferment the
spectacular.
wine here, ship it to there for the second fermentation that's in the bottle.
Great after palate. Great,
Yep.
the whole after part that just keeps coming.
It's, it's an
so nice.
incredible sparkling wine. It is. I cannot tell you how many A&M graduates that was their wine at their graduation. It is the wine. We have people drive hours and buy cases every
I
Christmas.
can believe that. Do you ship these online? Do you have a website?
Yes.
Great.
You can
Tell
go to
us where to find you.
messinahof.com.
Okay.
And they
I
can buy
order
all of
this.
these.
I can get
Yes.
these shipped to my house.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
fantastic. So the sparkling almond, and we've tasted a lot of wines here. We've had a lot of winemakers, a lot of wine vintners, a lot of wineries, and from different ways of production, right? From local only 10% Texan, 70%, 50%, and now 100%, which is the first of its kind I've ever even seen. So
There's a few that are 100%. So we're one
I've
of the
not
biggest
seen them
ones that are
here.
100%. But there's a few William Chris Winery. There's several that are 100%. Some of them, we always give grace to that. It's very expensive for Texas grapes,
Yeah.
and we're producing a lot, but we're not producing quite as much for as many wineries that are here. So most of them are at least 75 or 80%. Then they can put Texas on the bottle.
And this doesn't guarantee anything for these guys. It doesn't guarantee when I say, hey, I'm going to pay this extra margin. and I'm going to make a Texas wine, 100% Texas wine, and the cost goes up, it doesn't mean it's going to be a better wine.
Exactly.
You know, we're forging. These are one, I want to say entrepreneurs, but on the other side, they're like conquistadors in wine. They're moving into this. Let's make it great. Do you, and I'll ask you, I'll throw this question out, and as we kind of wrap our session here a bit, one of the reasons why French wine costs so much more than American wine is that the French can prove it.
Yep.
Right? And we're just a little green. Right?
Yep.
Texas even more greener. California is green.
Way greener.
We're super green, and we haven't had a chance. So if I'm a French winemaker, I can tell you right now that wine is going to be for my son's son. I want my great grandson to have all the Chateau Margaux that I have down there on the bottom shelf. Those are for him, right? And so I'm going to put them in my thing, and I know they will be better when he opens them.
Yes.
It is something Chateau Margaux can prove to me. So California cannot. Right, and Texas even more.
There, but
they're
not
getting
that
there.
far. They're getting there.
We just can't prove it, right? Not that it won't, not that it isn't, not that it can't, and you just assume it would. But if I'm an investor in wine in this regard, I need to be sure of it, right? So the ability to prove it makes those jumps in cost, right? And so take it while the iron's hot, because Texas is about to prove it.
Yes.
And once we do, the French will see us with comparable pricing that America loves, but
we are competitive anyway.
But rightly deserved is rightly
we think
deserved.
The world is our enemy for competing. We're going to compete with everybody.
Unearned right. I love your earned right.
But
like
Texas
you said, award
and
winner.
Texas, we will support Texas 100%. If you're a Texas winery, I guarantee you another Texas winery has your back 100% all the time.
They do.
So, yes.
They do. And then we started with that conversation and that banner that I don't see a lot of industries working so well and cohesive and partnering from like I said, the Blue Bonnet Trail and some of the livestock show and rodeo, some of these other events that really bring everybody together.
Yes.
And I can drink it, smoke it, or eat it every single day. So there's a call always, and to know that there's some guarantee to the back of that bottle that says it's going to be good when I open it, and I don't care about my son in 2 generations from now, but when I open it, I want it to be
Exactly.
good. I want it to be good.
Exactly.
And so I think Messina Hof brings that with an award-winning vintner, an award-winning winery since 1977. You can kind of feel that. You can get that credibility in every single glass. And honestly, what an adventure in the sparkling almond, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's a big wow. The I don't know what the name of this one is.
Sparkling Sagrantino Bonarigos. Sparkling Sagrantino.
Unique is just a short call. I really it in its taste to not bring so sugar forward.
Oh, it's very
because
dry.
it's not.
Nope.
I can taste the tannins right out the gate, and it brings on a good flavor for easy drinking more than one toast. I think regular champagne, I just want to get the toast, drink the wine. It was champagne. It was good. There's nothing wrong with it, but I know it's going to give me a headache, and I know it's going to, be champagne about it later. So I have to either order really good champagne or I don't get champagne
You're
for
exactly
the evening, right? So to get Bonarigo would be something I could sit and enjoy, right?
Exactly.
And beyond a toast, right? I like that. It almost brings it into the entree a bit.
Yes.
I feel that.
It can get really close to having to be served with an entree just because it's got enough tannins and body to hold it.
I wouldn't feel uncomfortable having it with dinner.
No.
Not at all. Yeah, I don't need a graduation to have this. Yeah. So I did enjoy that. Sparkling almond had a little bit of a natural sweet.
Yes.
But man, flavor forward, 100% first. It just had a great taste and really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
I've
coming.
enjoyed your support for the Moco Fashion Show. And I know you have
So excited.
item for that silent auction. Tell us a little bit about that before we wrap up.
Yes, really quick. We are doing a 2-night stay at the Villa at the Estate in Bryan College Station. It's a bed and breakfast, so you get a great breakfast in the morning. They get a tasting event with it. And they also will, of course, we're going to bring our premium Palo version of our wine.
But I want it.
It's the best of the best that we have available, and I'm bringing one of those bottles as well, the Sagrantino bottle that just won in
Sagrantino.
Vienna. It's the first American wine to ever win in Vienna. So
Wow.
we're very proud of our
Congratulations.
Sagrantino.
Yeah.
What?
That's
And then that's in the auction?
It will be in the auction with the giveaway for the 2 nights for you guys. So it should be it's in 2021.
In an effort to support Lone Star Community Radio.
Exactly.
We will have that auction going off at the MoCo Fashion Show. The silent auction will be noticed on the website. That'll be coming up here shortly. You can get your tickets are on sale now for the MoCo Fashion Show. You can find it at facebook.com/GoLakeConroe. And you can go see some of those links. We'll put some links below so you don't have to write that down. But you get to taste 5 courses from Chef B, as well as the 5 courses paired by Messina Hof Winery, and a full catwalk of runway fashions from our local boutiques and fashions here in town. Folks, we'll be back. And we'll be back right after this with Harry from Guadalaharry. He's here in Conroe, Texas, in the downtown. We'll be back right after this.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
Welcome back to the Texas Tickets Romano, and I'm with Haley Dawn.
But
Wow, and then we've got Harry with us from Guadalaharry, downtown Conroe.
That's me.
And welcome. I'm so glad to see you. Tell me, what were you thinking?
What am I thinking?
What were you thinking? You coming to Conroe? You left the lake?
Well, we were having the road construction on 1097 killed us over the winter, and the building over there was a money pit and was literally falling down. It was time to move on. My lease was up at the end of last month, so that's what happened.
Okay, fair enough. And you remodeled that place not too long, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? You remodeled it a bit?
Yeah, we took the building over 2 days before they shut the economy down for COVID, and we spent 2 months in there every day remodeling it.
Tell me what's going on in there next? Do you know who's coming behind you? You know who's dating your ex-girlfriend over there? Your ex-girlfriend, Guadalaharry's on 1097?
Oh, no. No, I've got a guy.
You're leaving it, right? You're not 2 locations, right?
No,
you're just going to be the one. Okay, all right. So somebody might come in there. I think, what was it? That boat place was downstairs, wasn't it?
No, there was a
rental,
a gas station.
But there was also a rental place there.
Well, we had to run him off. He was a shyster.
Oh, okay. So there was all that downstairs, and then there was 7 Coves. But yeah, that construction just about shut down 1097.
Well, all the communities, all the businesses up from us all the way to the bridge are getting hammered by that construction. It was supposed to be done in the spring of 2024. The light right there in front of our place was installed in June of 2023, and they have yet to turn it on.
Does this affect Dan Enos in any way?
No.
Good, because I know he lives in that neighborhood back there. And
he's going to be here Saturday, too.
Is he going to be here Saturday?
At the restaurant here.
What time Saturday can we
7 o'clock.
So Dan will be playing at 7?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to try and stay in tune with your schedule, Harry. I'm going to pop in there and I'm going to get it so I can share it with our audience. I want them to know what's going on down there. And because I want to say I really like some of your stuff. I mean, there's some items you serve that are really unique.
Yeah, tell us about your most popular dish or the one that keeps people coming back.
Well, what keeps people coming back is my chef, Raphael. He spent almost 20 years with Papa Do's, and he's a real chef. He makes our blackened seasoning from scratch. He makes our crawfish seasoning from scratch. He's the best I've ever seen as far as running a kitchen goes, and I stay out of his way.
Yeah, sure.
You know? So, but the food is great. I'm all about the service and a nice, clean place that's got a lot of atmosphere to it, which I think we captured over here at the new building. So we're excited to be here.
469? What's the street address there?
Oh, 219.
219, all right.
219 Simonton.
219 Simonton. Man, I am so glad to have you here downtown. And you bring crawfish, you bring those Bloody Marys that you do so great.
Yep,
yeah,
Harry's Mary.
Woo, as long as they're still coming. I don't know if you left anything at the lake. Did you leave anything over there?
No, we even brought the ashtrays.
Did you? Okay, cool. All right. Good. And I didn't want to hold you to it. It's like you got to be that same guy all the time, no matter where you go. That's not. You're making it up. You get to pick your playbook. You get to pick how you paint the Guadalaharrys. And I'm so glad all those things that I really like are coming. And I know you have that that cheesecake of the week thing you do. I don't know what that's about, but.
Well, Debbie, who's my general manager, she makes our homemade cheesecakes. They come out every Thursday, and when they're gone, which is usually Saturday afternoon or Sunday. But this week's cheesecake's going to be a banana pudding cheesecake, and it's amazing. It's really good. And she went 42 weeks in a row without making the same one twice.
42 weeks?
Yeah, it's amazing. She is.
What's her best flavor?
It's hard to pick one. Last week she had a honey bun cheesecake, and that was amazing.
Honey bun
Yeah, but you got to come by. They come out Thursdays, and there's nothing like it. And not only that, but we only sell the cheesecake 3 or 4 days out of the week. But it is our number one seller of any menu item.
She can't make it too professional looking. If I'm giving any advice, tell her not to make it look too pro, right? Because then they think you're ordering it from somewhere. And I keep trying to convince people, no. Why, are you kidding me? Do you think anybody's making a honey bun cheesecake? Yeah, some guy in New York, and they're shipping it to Lake Conroe. That's what's going on. Yeah.
No.
And we're slicing
do yourself a
up
favor and never say that to Debbie because she'll smack you.
Oh, no. I just think that they're so picturesque, and they look so good, and they're so iconic, and they're so, what a cheesecake should
and
be.
It's an art.
It's
to
what it
make
should be.
Cheesecake.
You did it right.
Have
Great.
you ever tried to make cheesecake before?
It's an
horrible
art.
disaster liquid.
And it's time consuming too. It's
Yes.
not like you
I'm
can
a
just
liquid
whip them out.
Yeah, mine usually has that liquid center where it's still Jello and everything else is cheesecake, but the
burned
middle's
mine.
not.
I burned the one I tried.
Yeah.
And I was like peeling it out of. I was like, okay, I'm never doing this again.
Mine's more like an eclair when I'm done with it. And it's like, cheesecake's not supposed to be like this, right? And you're like, damn.
Yeah, she's good at it.
Yeah, I've seen it. She's incredibly good at it. You're being humble, modest, and I've seen these cheesecakes. They're spectacular. I've had them. They're fabulous, and they're probably the best I've seen in the county. I mean, honestly, I think they're top list.
Well, she's entering them into the coming weekend. What's
Montgomery County Fair and Rodeo.
Yeah, the Montgomery County Fair. She's entering two of them. She's entering a turtle cheesecake, and she's entering a cherry-covered chocolate cheesecake that I've seen pictures of. They both look great. I've had her turtle.
Wow. I think I'd be an alcoholic if I wasn't a wannabe diabetic. I really have 2 or 3 beers and I want an ice cream sandwich. You know what I mean? I get a 4-pack in and I'm down for a slice of cake. It's like, I think I'll have a bowl of cereal. Aren't you drinking? I'm like, well, yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, different direction.
Yeah. But once you go sweet, you don't come back normally, unless it's like something like the Messina Hof Sparkling Almond or a sweeter wine or something like that. Then maybe I could see me kind of, or port. Maybe I can kind of parry back and forth, or a Cavassier or brandy or some sweeter drink and have it with my dessert. Maybe. I don't know. You do any sweet drinking?
No,
Yeah.
I have found that drinking is like the first fundamental law of physics, which is everything takes the path of least resistance. And so that's why I don't do wines. I don't do a lot of stuff because I like waking up without a headache.
Yeah. And champagne does sparkling effervescence and sugar, sweeter things that I like. Obviously, that's my wheelhouse. Sweeter the better. That's exactly how you end up, because the sugar gives you that hangover, and
right.
that especially when you start fermenting and dealing with, local fermentation, and like the people in Jamaica don't drink a lot of Red Stripe, from what I understand, and I was why? There's like, well, when it comes out of the Red Stripe factory, it's as green as it gets. So when it gets to America, it's right on point. So it leaves here green. It gets to you fresh as it gets, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. So I guess Jamaicans don't drink it. No.
I don't know.
They're like, no, they don't. And they ship it off immediately. And so it's like, I guess that we can find our happy place or time, our season, if you will, for a little indulgence of different kinds. But now you're here in Conroe, and I feel like it's more of a year-round thing, and that I can find my indulgence in the things that I love. And, you have crawfish. Of course, it's a seasonal item, but you've got fried shrimp, fried catfish, some of these dishes that are just a full plate. I couldn't finish my lunch today, I'll tell you that.
Well, the first lesson I learned when I got into this business, when I was a waiter, I worked for a really busy place, and their portions were huge, and their prices were fair. And I never forgot that. And so when we opened up Guadalaharry's, I wanted to do that, stay with that. So nobody leaves hungry. And, the food is, in my opinion, great. Nothing makes the menu unless I think it's great.
Yeah.
Good doesn't cut it. So every time we come up with a new menu item, we try it 4 or 5 different ways before we say that's how we're going to do it. And if it doesn't have that kick to it, then it just doesn't make the menu, period.
How often are you adding new products to the menu or changing things out?
Every now and then. Our lunch menu was only probably 7 or 8 months old, and we've got some different items on that. But we're at the point now that if I add something, I got to take something else off the menu.
Right.
And everything is
My favorite Mexican restaurant has like a 4-page menu.
Yeah.
And
Have you
it's
ever
like
watched
really
Bar
small. I
Rescue?
can barely read it,
Yeah.
but there's like, I think it like most of the same ingredients are used in every single entree on there, like chalupa, tacos, balap.
Yeah, like on that show Bar Rescue, where John Taffer goes around and helps people up their game in their bar. It's like, you focus on, a couple of very good things and make them very, very good, so that way you're known for those few dishes rather than... Because I have been to some restaurants where you have to flip through like 5 different pages, and the pages are like this long, and you're like, oh my gosh, like a newspaper.
I wonder how they do that. I think at your place, I think at Mexican restaurants.
Well, let me say something while we're on that.
Yeah.
We're not a Mexican restaurant.
No, not at all.
And I came up with a story on the front of the menu. I call it The Fable because it sounds better than The Lie, about Harry going from Key West all the way around the Gulf of Mexico, gathering up recipes. Then he opens
didn't
up
do
the
that?
restaurant. No.
Oh, well, hell, that's the only reason you're on this show. I thought you'd done the whole U.S.
But anyway, that's why we have great chili. We have
Taking off the
Cajun.
notes production.
We have steak, seafood, Cajun, Tex-Mex. We got all of it, and it's all really good.
It is, and it is really good. And I think it's a nice addition to downtown Conroe, bringing something economical and fun, and that lively flair, as lively as your wardrobe on a regular basis. And I love it. I think that whole thing brings a lot of joy to my friends that come. I brought family to your place many times, and man, it's comfortable.
That's the whole thing. It needs to be a comfortable atmosphere,
nice.
Great food, great service, and then location. There you have it. That's
Well,
the
on
secret
service,
to the
are
restaurant
you there?
business.
Are you there yet in downtown Conroe on service? Do you need some more help? Should we send some people your way, or are you looking for?
I
service
think I'm good
now?
right now.
Okay.
When we opened up, here's the thing.
Debbie's your manager, right?
Debbie Dupree's my GM.
Okay, and anyone else that we need to mention here today, real quick?
Yeah, we got. I've got 2 Gabbies. We
Two
call one of
Gabbies.
them's Gabs. One of them's
Grace,
Gabby.
you got Grace. You got a Grace. I saw.
She
met a
was
Grace.
another server, but I'm talking about the manager.
Oh yeah, sorry, Grace.
And then I'm missing somebody. I know I am. But anyway,
Sure. And then the chef, what was his name again?
Raphael.
Raphael. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's the best I've ever seen in the business. But we're glad to be here. Our sales aren't
awesome.
where we want them to be right now, but that's because we signed the lease and moved within 2 months. That's pretty fast, and we were only down 2 business days, which is pretty remarkable.
Wow.
So
And we barely got a chance to warm it up. We're just telling folks you're down there. I mean,
yeah, I know, which is good because, once you open up a place and then you start having busy days, you find out where all your holes are in your boat, and you got to fix them pretty quick.
And these people, they're not going to be nice. I mean, they come
they've
for
all
you.
been
Can
nice.
bring them in for a free dinner. You screw it up, they're going to give you a bad review, just like if they paid for it. You really got. And I've seen restaurants open up and do this soft opening kind of thing, and people go immediately to write reviews about it based on what. It's a soft opening. They're not even really opening. Look at that, and it just blows my mind. It's like, come on, they invited you in for the purpose of trying it and experimenting and working on some things and your opinions, because I respect those. So they invite you to the restaurant, not to go on Yelp. Good night.
There's people that don't have anything else better
No,
to
and
do.
I don't think they understand. And so just be cautious in that sort of sampling thing, because some people, I don't understand why they would feel the need to do that. I've always been in a posture of gratitude and thankfulness, and when I, and here at Easter, we've got Easter Sunday coming up and Palm Sunday this weekend. We got Easter Sunday next weekend. We've got a lot of folks in our community that are really about that. And I think we should be grateful for everything we have. And having you in downtown Conroe is really something to be grateful for.
I appreciate that very much.
I believe that. And I think it brightens up the community. I think it brings a light to downtown and really hopefully brings and propagates business all around the area, because people come down because I want to go over there and have one of your amazing Bloody Marys, or I want to go have crawfish over there, but I want to go to the corner pub to go watch a concert afterwards or watch a show.
You guys have live music?
Every Friday and Saturday. In fact, what we do is we have karaoke Sundays and Wednesdays. We have open mic on Tuesdays for if you got a guitar and you want to come play a few songs, come on by. And Andy Rodriguez, who does the open mic.
Oh, Andy's been on the show. He's
been on
awesome.
the show.
Yeah.
He does all the bookings. So if somebody wants to come play, you got to come to open mic and meet Andy on a Tuesday. Then on Thursdays we have Singo Bingo, which is bingo, except instead of having numbers on your card, you have song titles. And we set the music up, the sound system up, then we play snippets of these songs. The cards are $5, and whoever winds up bingo and gets the pot. And then we have live entertainment every Friday and Saturday.
They tier pretty good. I see them all flashing cash at every time online.
Well, yeah. Then it's a lot of fun, especially when you got about 6 or 7 people that only need one more
that's all
song.
community stuff. That's things communities do. That's not, hey, I'm Applebee's or I'm, nothing wrong with any of these large franchise restaurants, and these franchise owners, I'm sure, are local fellas like us. And, but there's something, a touch that you can bring as a local owner that's different than theirs.
Yeah, we just want to make
They're
a fun
not even
place.
empowered. Their chef can't do what he wants.
Right.
He can't. Yours can't.
Yeah, I'd say out of his way.
They can't come up with a good idea.
Yep.
They can't. They're not allowed to. They respond to franchise and corporate rules and regulations.
Right.
This menu's handed down from the corporate chef, and we get consistency this way, and we get things that we do like this way, and then it serves. But there's a freedom you have as a restaurateur that they don't. And that brings something to play. You get to take turns. You get to make changes. You get to hang new signage. You get to change your look. You get to be whoever you want. And Guadalaharry's can be whatever you make it.
Well, I learned a long time ago that you can't be successful unless you have successful people behind you.
Sure.
And letting those, like letting Debbie make the cheesecake and run the restaurant, letting Raphael do whatever he wants in the kitchen, it builds loyalty to the what we're all trying to get accomplished, which is to have a nice place to work with a great product in a great location.
With great people.
With great people.
And it brings loyalty to the customer base, knowing they can go in there and get that amazing cheesecake that's done with some real people's hands. And, man, you can taste it. I mean, I don't want to be too salesman-y about it, but, man, if you can feel it, taste it, enjoy it, it is, and you can definitely tell. And some of the work I do, I think I do a canned version of a post or a video, and it's like I've learned through time, sleep on it. Tomorrow, look at it again and see if you still like it.
Right.
And then I'll wake up and went, oh, wow, I almost posted that. I almost sent that to my client. Delete. Oh, wow, I'm going to start over. It needs a whole new look. That was terrible. And it's my own work, and I can critique upon it and better myself in this way. You get that opportunity to fine-tune everything and every way you work and adapt like a Lamborghini to its owner. You know what I mean? And I refer to a Lamborghini because it has brass transmission parts, right? It's made to fit the original buyer of the car, right? So it works with however you work it. It will be yours, in every way.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because whenever we did the restaurant over there and we've done it to this one over here, we built it for speed because, you have to have fast people in there. You have to be able to crank out the food. You have to be able to crank out the drinks. You have to be able to bust the tables fast. Everything's got to be done fast because if you don't build it that way, you're never going to be busy. So that's what we're doing right now. And like I said, plugging the holes in the boat. But give us another 2 or 3 months, we're going to be rocking.
I had fried catfish today, and it had jalapeno broccoli. I'm like, okay, well, I have fried catfish all over Lake Conroe. Jalapeno broccoli? Never even heard of it. Yeah.
Good though.
Boom. Yeah. Mind blown. And so we get a lot of these things in your menu that are just, you could tell somebody took time. There was work. There was that level of independent thinking where, hey, this is our family recipe, or this is something we enjoy, or this is something that we worked on. This is something that people fed back to us. These are things we refined to make better for a customer experience, And so when they come in, they have this experience that they just can't put their finger on what was the main reason they came. Wow,
Right.
that was good. That was really good. I don't know what that thing was, but I love it. And a lot of that, right? And that comes from constant work, the details, the intimacy of you being able to craft as you move along. And I think some of those things are hard to see. It's kind of like growing older, It's like I don't see it until I, stay away from a mirror for a week, and then you're like, oh wow, is that still me? Are those my new shoes? Or you put your new shoes and your old shoes next to each other, and you're like, oh, I was wearing those, yeah. So that. It's a real thing. It has a real psyche effect, and I think people can feel it, know it, and I think they'll keep them coming back for you, Harry. And I think they'll all appreciate you for the same things. But they got to come out and try it. They got to visit. They got to taste it. They got to give you that first try and let them come out, visit here, right here in downtown Conroe, and you can see them at 219 Simonton Street. You can visit them online. We're going to put all those links down below. You can just click one of those, see the menu. Do you do Uber Eats, DoorDash, or any of that stuff?
No, we don't. Only because they want a fortune for doing it, and
Yeah.
every time they've approached me, I think about it a little bit. Then I go, no.
Well, and don't let me steal.
But here's the thing: if somebody in downtown Conroe wants it to go order, I'll deliver it over there personally.
Oh,
So-
heck, quit it. No, yeah, right. There's such an experience to the location. It's the facility itself is just the work cement, what you've done there, what the previous people did there to kind of stage up to what we have here today to offer to these people in Conroe that come to visit. It's spectacular. It's really cool. There's this huge fish over the bar that's like bigger than this whole studio. It's got a balcony that faces the Owen Theater, the Players Theater back there. It's got multiple bars in the location. It is a sight to see. So come on out, visit. You can come out to Guadalaharry's right here on the square downtown Conroe, Monday through Sunday.
Correct.
7
Yep.
days a week. Okay.
Yep.
There you go. Folks, we'll see you soon. We'll be right back, Harry. And we'll be back after this. Thank you for coming on the show, Harry.
You got it. Thank you
And
for
we'll
having
have
me.
all his links down below. You can come visit, see the menu, order at the door. See you soon, folks. We'll be right back after this. Get ready, Conroe. The 2025 MoCo Fashion Show is bringing glamour, style, and an unforgettable experience to downtown Conroe on May 3rd. Indulge in an exquisite 5-course dinner crafted by the talented Chef E, perfectly paired with Messina Hof's award-winning wines, celebrating excellence since 1977. Then witness a runway like no other. From elegant evening wear to bold fashion statements, this night will leave you inspired. In the heart of downtown Conroe at Timberline Crossing Event Center, wine, dine, celebrate fashion through a night of elegance and entertainment. Tickets are on sale now. Visit us online and be a part of the magic at the 2025 MoCo Fashion Show. Don't miss it.
Lone Star Radio on my mind. So won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute?
Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. Wow, this is the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show.
Punch it. These events are going to make you a little bit more Texas.
A little more Texan. A little more Texan. And that starts out with the crowning Texan. Well,
The event
I think if you
of Montgomery County.
if you were a bull rider, if you got on the back of a bull, whether you were in a professional rodeo or not, I think you're definitely more Texan.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Well, I have, but it wasn't stationary, and they were like holding. He was tied up, right? Nobody opened the gate, right?
So no.
Well, no, well, yeah, we were little kids. You got to go in the thing, and you got to get on the bull, and everything. It was
No,
kind
it's
of,
not the same.
it was probably the old petting bull, but whatever. It was a rodeo bull. That's
Speaking of
at least
rodeo.
that's what they told us. Montgomery County Fair Association. You can see their website at mcfa.org. And you have some events that they're holding, as well as the barbecue cook-off, of course, all weekend.
That starts tonight. Tonight at 4 p.m. So make sure you go there. We also have a special event coming up at Tarangos, a hog hunt. Have you ever heard of a virtual hog hunt with AR-15s?
No, I haven't, but I have heard Tarango's AR-15 has recoil.
It does. It does. And this is all virtual. They're going to be having a 1.5 hour event.
And that gun's a weight. That
Recoil
gun's
enabled.
weight.
Yeah. It feels and
It's weight,
acts like the real thing.
recoil, and then afterwards you're eating the pork.
Pulled pork feast. afterwards. There's only 30 guests that are allowed in, so make sure you grab your tickets, and you can get those on their website or on Facebook. Just look up Tarangos, and we'll put the links down below as well.
Cindy Tarango, super cool lady. We ran into each other at the Voda remediation company. They were doing their signing with the Chamber of Commerce last week. They're out there on 105 West at the right before you get to the San Jacinto Bridge on the left-hand side.
Outlet Mall.
No, 105.
You're talking about
Jacinto Bridge.
Tarangos?
No, Tarango's
Oh.
Outlet. Tarango's is Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
The Voda Water Company. Cindy was at Cindy Tarango.
I see.
Yeah. And she was at the Voda Water Company on 105. And they just got introduced to Chambers, so they're ribbon cutting and stuff just recently, and I got to see her face out there. It was so cool. It's always fun to see her. And dialing back to the Montgomery County Fair Association, they have the there's there's washers. There's the cornhole tournament that's going off down there. There's the tonight or tomorrow is the children's cook-off. Right, so there is a children's cook-off. They do a cook-off with all the kids. They make their item. They're with a parent. They get paired up, and they do their cook-off, right? And so they're getting competition. They're getting rated and all that stuff. Super cool event, and everybody's eating the entire time and having a good time, and it's the kids making the food. And if you're scared of that, honestly, I wouldn't be. I don't think they'd be competing if it wasn't edible. They're competing to win, and everyone with a sincere plight that they're capable of winning it all. And I'll tell you, you can taste that in the food, and it is good. They're spectacular. Their parents are there. There's people coaching them, but they have rules where they have to. They can only line coach, like screaming at you, don't forget the salt, like they're over on the side, they don't get to come put the salt in for you.
Yeah.
They're not babying your recipe.
Yeah.
So they're these, right? My friend Nate it does a lot of work with the Sunshine Group that does the youth parade, and they did that yesterday where the youth parade does everybody brings their own pets and lizards and snakes and whatever they have, their cat, their. One year, he was telling us a story about a kid that brought a chicken on a leash.
Oh.
He walked his chicken in the Montgomery County Radio Association. There is a wide variety of opportunities to get involved and get out there and do stuff. And, the cook-off goes on all weekend. Big fan of the folks over at Perry Lothberg from Perry's Ice House has a team out there, and him and a bunch of guys, they all get together for that. We love visiting them. We'll be out there this weekend, as well as Hogs and Kisses, and one of our friends that cook and invite us out to the tent. We'll tour all the tents over the weekend and get to meet those guys. I think Keith Kruger has cooked a few years over from 202 North Main, and a few of other local. And if you don't know who these people are, Hawks and Kisses, I think he's the municipal judge for Montgomery County when he first started. And a bunch of law enforcement in that group. Perry is the owner of the pink building, Perry's Ice House. What's that thing called? The big pink ice house on Lake Conroe. What's that thing called? I can't believe Papa's. Yeah, I don't know why Perry's threw me, but Papa's. Too many P's. But Papa's Ice House, Lake Conroe, iconic pink building. It's a Lake Conroe landmark. His team participates every year as well, and so many other people that are our friends, our neighbors, local business owners that we may not even know who's back there behind the grill. But I'll tell you, it takes a long time to qualify to get in there and to do those things. But those will be going on tonight and tomorrow night, and you can come out and catch that. And I'm not sure what's going on Sunday. I think Sunday is the Latino Day, where they'll have all kinds of Latino bands, some different Latino cooking tournaments and competitions. You can catch that all day long. Mariachis kick it off as early as 11 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. You'll catch the live concert Saturday night and as well as Friday night. So you'll have those two going on over the weekend for both those days. And then there's something else, a real noteworthy thing. The cornhole guys, there's the kids cook, and the Sunshine Group, and the roping team comes out, the best of Montgomery County, and I think that's during the afternoon on the 11th or 12th. You can see all the MCFA.org. You can go there and see the schedule, and it's just events. You top of the page, you'll see in the center there's a link that says events. Now, if you click that events page, there's a lot of stuff on the page, right? get you lost quick. And you're like, well, what about this weekend? You know, and it's like, that's where I was, right? I was there. So just click the events link, top center of the page, and then they'll bring you down to the list of stuff that's going on. And then you can kind of see the details on some of these events, which there are plenty. And the amount of money they raise every year to support scholarships and the people in this community, the local businesses, from the FFA animal sales, the 4-H club, the other stuff that they do, the sheep, the goats, the cows, the chickens, the pigs. It goes on, and giving young children an opportunity to get involved, and as well as adults, ropers, team ropers, competitor riders, horse raisers, tack designers and developers, everyone from limousine farms all the way into breeding and processing of these animals that we need in our lives. And I don't care what state you're in; they're counting on Texas to get the job done. So we will, and we do it at these kind of competitions to give credits and give these folks the notoriety they deserve and have earned through their mastery of raising these animals in a way. Husbandry, I think, is the term. I'm not really sure on bringing these animals to process to the community in one way or another. Either work them, eat them, consume them, raise them, service them, whatever the call is for certain animals, and this is the process. And so this is the way they develop their accolades in breeding and distribution and much more, the ability to bring them to market and as to raise proper animals. And I think a lot goes into that, and it does everything. In the rodeo here in Montgomery County Fair and Rodeo Association will bring everything from the arts, whether it's Texas artistry, and to painting and oils and canvas, to youth, and all the way to the animals themselves, and getting hands-on. And I think everybody really likes the hands-on. Yeah, they want to see some guy get thrown off a bull and into the wall. You know what I mean? And it's like that guy, his whole family's in the stands, and they don't want to see him get hurt, right? So, that's what those rodeo clowns are all about. They're out there. I don't know if you've seen those guys. And Nate was a rodeo clown.
You wouldn't be doing that?
No.
Running around in a barrel?
They're not running around. They're running to the bull. Yeah, and no, I could run from the bull.
I don't think you run from a bull. I think that's like
run from all of them. No, man. No, I'm running. I'm running. No, it's the bear. We get in the fetal position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bear, you get in the fetal position, and yeah, you seen that one? Like, it's too much. It was like practicing Muay Thai, fighting against a bear, and he's like, first, square up. Second, and it's got those little stick images, as it goes along. Second, and it goes all the way to like number 7, and and like number 5, it says, go low, rifle in, come up from behind, and it's got.
And I
was like, no. It was right on the bottom. It said, "Quit kidding yourself. Somewhere around step number 3, you were mauled by a bear." I'm like, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh yeah. You see the little stick man's about this big. The bear's somewhere around step number 3, you got bear mauled. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll wrap this show up, guys. We'll see everybody at the Mocha Fashion Show May 3rd. Tickets are on sale now. Click that link. Support the community, support the fashion industry, and all the local boutiques and the folks that come together to make that event happen. Lone Star Community Radio and Messina Hof Winery, who've made efforts to bring that to your attention today. Folks, follow the show. Follow us here at facebook.com/TXTicket. And we look forward to seeing you May 3rd at Timberline Crossing Event Center for the Mocha Fashion Show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on TXTicket.
Lone Star Radio on my